how I've investigated overtones. I think it's very cool. So no, this is just a fun little thing that I had at the end, sort of combining the two disciplines of music and math and computer science. I brought in this little board. This is called an Arduino. It's essentially a very small computer. So this is it's like the brain. This is a processor, and we have different modules that you can plug in to it. So this is just a little speaker that can play different pitches. And so something that I've been looking into a lot, I've been working with Mr. Burbage a little bit, is how you can create music with this little speaker. And it sort of leads to a different way of composition, because rather than using the staff and having notes and things like that, you need to think about it the way that a computer would think about it. You need to think about it with numbers. So there's a command that you can use with the Arduino, a tone command, where you put in a pin, that's just where it's to send the information to. So to make sure the information gets to the speaker. The pitch expressed in a frequency, and then a duration expressed in milliseconds. So this is it's a different kind of composition because you have to think about it really differently. But I've actually looked for some code I didn't have time to program it myself, but it's a little bit quiet. But if you want to listen, somebody actually went through and programmed the whole Mario theme song into an Arduino using entirely math with the tone command. So I think this is just an interesting little way to combine the two disciplines. And in my future, I plan on doing things like this, just because those are my two biggest interests. So if we just look a little bit at how this has to do with me, I consider myself what I call a both-and person rather than either-or person. So if you know me well, you know that I struggle with making decisions. I've had some decision anxiety, and I still struggle with that. But usually, my way of getting around that is just saying, why not both? So in college, rather than saying, I want to pick either math or music, I plan on majoring in both. Rather than choosing just one or two track events, I'm going to be a decathlete and do 10 of them. So I sort of see this in many ways relating to me, both with saying, combining math and music and silly things like this, or when thinking about how creation, how nature has to do with math and how it has to do with faith. So I was talking a little bit about that earlier, how where some people say you can either be a Christian or you can be a scientist. I say, why not both? I think that there's no reason that we should isolate the two, and I think that it's our duty as Christians to bring the both together. And so I'm talking about how programming works in the way of a logical mind. It's just a list of tasks to get through, and that's sort of how my mind works. But you don't have to stay stuck in that, and I don't stay stuck in that. I think about music both in that way and just in the traditional musical sense. But if we employ the logical mind and we look at the things, throughout nature, we come to one conclusion, and that is that Elohim is the God of strength and might, and that He is a God of order, and that He designed creation to work together in systematic and fundamental ways.